Hello, I'm Krista West of Avlea Folk Embroidery, and this is the June floss tube. I am having a smidge of technical difficulties, so you'll have to work with me. This is actually my first floss tube that I have recorded on my phone. I normally record with my laptop, but the sound card on my laptop is going, which is highly annoying because wouldn't you know, the first time I actually decide to spend, a huge amount of money on a good laptop, instead of always going for the cheap one, that's the time I get a lemon of a laptop. It's already been in twice for service. Anyways, so we're going to try it this way today. So for those of you who are new, I am Krista West. I'm the owner and designer of Avlea Folk Embroidery. I specialize in folk embroidery, mostly cross stitch, mostly Mediterranean. However, we're going to break that rule a little bit today. And I just want to show you kind of what I'm up to. This won't be a super long floss tube today because I'm in the middle of a bunch of new projects. And so I don't have tons to show you today that's finished, but I'll at least show you what we've got going on. Let's see, all the things. I think you guys probably already know the Avlea website. It'll be in the notes. You can follow me on Instagram. And here's the thing. I have just recently learned, I need to do a little bit more research, but I've recently learned that there has been sort of a scourge attacking Instagram, that there are hackers that are basically taking Instagram accounts and holding them hostage. And so if for some reason you are following me and something weird happens on Instagram, look for the emails. If that happens to me, I've set up two-step verification. I'm being really careful about it. But if that happens and you suddenly think, wow, what's going on with Krista's Instagram? Look for the email because I will send an email if that happens. I've had it actually happen to a couple of friends. One was a realtor and one it was a friend's personal Facebook account. So anyhow, on to better and brighter things. So what's happening at Avlea? Wow, this month, so much great stuff. The first step, pretty excited. I did not grab my copy. I should have before I started the video, but one of my designs is in Just Cross Stitch magazine this month. For those of you who are subscribed, you should have it by now. And it's the Athenian sunflower design. It's one of my bit kit designs, so it's small. The kits will release today on the website. I just got permission from Just Cross Stitch to release the kits because I don't release those before the article and the chart goes out. And they did this beautiful article on Greek folk embroidery. It was really awesome. No, I did not write it. They did it. And I didn't even know that was going to happen. And it's just awesome. So that's out, which is really exciting. The next project I have for them is a Greek cross Christmas ornament that'll be in their October Christmas ornament issue with a really fun double lined hem-stitched finish. Very cool, very fun. I had a lot of fun coming up with that one. And so that just released today. I right now am getting ready for my display at the H&H America show in Chicago. And what is that? So basically, as many of you already know, and most of you are already supporters of the website and you buy your kits direct from the Avlea website. That is still for Avlea, that's our gold standard. To have clients come directly to us and buy kits from us is great. But we're teeny tiny and an itty bitty tiny presence on the internet. And I would love these designs to be seen by lots of makers and crafters around the United States. And so because of that, I am now selling Avlea wholesale to yarn stores, needlework stores, bookstores, little boutiques, all over. And so the H&H America show it's one of the largest trade shows for what's called the soft crafts industry. That's us. Cross stitch, yarn, needlework, all the things, soft crafts. If it's soft and crafty, there you go. So that's coming up in Chicago. For me, it's a really big deal because it's, first off, really expensive. My booth cost a couple $1,000s, okay? So it's a very, very big investment for me as a small business. But it's a great time to go and network and meet with people. And there will be, I think it's 2,500 attendees. And those are people who own yarn stores, needlework stores, this sort of a thing, and are looking for new lines to carry and things like that. So I'm really curious. I have my turkey jerky and my microwave popcorn packed, so I'm good to go. Like, I will go because I go to these things and I get really I get so hepped up and excited that I forget to eat. So my husband buys me turkey jerky at Costco, and he literally checks to make sure that I packed it in the box. It's very sweet. Because he's the person who usually reminds me to eat when I'm here at home. And so when he sends me out, he's like, I don't want you fainting. So anyway, so the turkey jerky is packed. Like almost every sample I own, well, it's not every sample, but it's a lot of them. Pamela is my workshop assistant and my friend and my neighbor. And we built these really cool backdrops. I think they were up a couple floss tubes ago, where we pinned all these samples to these, and we basically made these huge wall hangings. Each one is 30 inches wide by 6 feet tall, and there are 3 of them. So we're gonna have that be the backdrop of our booth. I'm kind of excited about that. I am, of course, nervous that I did not pack enough staging props. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna need that perfect staging prop, and I'm not gonna have it. So I sort of anxiety ordered more staging props on Amazon. I'm not really sure where I'm going to put them, but it was like, oh yeah, a little bamboo tray. Oh yeah, a little brass face. Yes, we need these things. So I'm kind of in that mode where it's like, oh boy. But on Monday, I have to ship my first box out. So that'll be good. Then it'll just be like, what's done is done. And now we just need to roll with it. So, but I'm really excited. I'm really excited to share Avlea and to share folk embroidery with a wider crowd, because I always feel like that creatively energizes me. So anyways, okay, so moving on. What's been going on? Well, the first really big news of this month's floss tube is the release of Santorini Stars. This is our first kit done with Appleton's wools. And you guys saw it going along in Instagram. I have it out of the pillow form right now because I had it packed for H&H and I pulled it out this morning. And it is just fabulous. This is on our 26 count Mickey, and it's with Appleton's wools. Okay, so Appleton's wools are crewel wools that are typically, up till now, people think about them as for needlepoint. But they reached out to me and said, well, have you ever thought about doing them with your cross-stitch designs? And I was like, oh yeah, on the larger stitch count fabrics, like the 26 count fabrics, they work beautifully. So they sent me samples and I've been stitching on them for a couple of months and I really love the effect. The effect is like, how can I describe this? It's like a mini carpet. So if you really, really love carpets, Persian rugs, all that kind of thing, if you love wool, then I would recommend you try one of the kits. I have a bit kit getting ready to release ASAP with the Appleton's wool, so that it's basically a starter so that people can try out, just try it and see if they like the crewel wools. And that will go on the website. I literally have 2 more inches to finish on the sample stitching. And of course, it was the one color that I completely forgot to order on my wholesale order. So bless their hearts, they are basically expediting my 20 skeins of this blue that I need. So anyways, so that'll be up soon. It'll be a really neat bit kit. So the Santorini Stars, oh, and then somebody emailed me this morning and said, well, is there going to be a DMC version? Yes, I will put the DMC version up too. And so you can order the kit with either DMC or with Appleton's, your choice. And check it out, we have a new cushion back cover. So this one's new, it just went on. This is the Kaufman Radiance Silk Cotton Blend. Oh my word, you had me at silk. So in the Byzantine Empire, half silks were a thing. They were a combination, because silk was so expensive, they would mix silk with other fibers and they were called half silks. And so as soon as I saw this from Kaufman, when my rep gave this to me, I was like, oh my word, yes, please. So I've had this actually sitting on my shelf for the last, year, and I've been waiting for the right project. And as soon as we finish the cushion cover, this just looks amazing. Now, what it is this is just one of my cushion back kits. So the cushion back kits basically come, and it's this backing with the hem done here and the hem on the inside done. So all you do is you pop it to the front of your embroidery, stitch around the perimeter, either by hand or machine, turn it inside out. There you go. You've got a cushion cover. Because I realized a lot of people were struggling to turn their embroidery into a cushion cover. And so now I have those in the basic Kona cotton. I have them in the Athena gauze. I have them in the Radiance gold. And I think I'll be adding more Radiance colors if people are interested. And I'm definitely going to be expanding the offerings on the cushion back covers, because I feel like it's just such a great way to take your embroidery and Now you have a gorgeous cushion. Because actually I was kind of sad. I finished this and I had this like perfect spot in my living room. I wanted it. And now like I have to have it packed up. So I can't like look at it right now, which is kind of bumming me, but it is going to be really fun to show it at H&H. So, and then the Big Kit design, which of course I forgot to grab, that one will be coming out and it's an all over design. It's a little chevron design and it's done in terracotta and alizarin and a soft blue. Really gorgeous. One thing I am finding about the Appletons, and I put this note on the courtyard so that if the courtyard is the forum at the Avlea website, it's an internal forum where people can post and share and ask questions and all this kind of stuff. It's a really amazing and lovely group of people. So I put this on the courtyard, a list of which of the designs, existing Avlea designs, would work best for the Appletons Cruel Wools. And I'm selling the Appletons by the skein. They're $2 a skein, free shipping. So you can try it out on different designs. It tends to work better with designs that have more white space, that don't have like solid fill. So for example, you can see that here. It works really well because this is like a little thin diagonal, and then you've got like the little checkerboard fill, and you've got like nice white space here, and then of course this open space. It tends to work best. That's what I'm finding right now. So I am working on some more designs for the Appletons, and those will be another couple of cushion kits. One I'm working on might be a bolster pillow size. It's really cool. I've been working with the motif, and it's a little square motif, and I've been like tiling it in different ways to try and figure out how I like it. And then suddenly I realized, oh wait, it almost like needs a rectangular orientation to see the secondary motifs that jump out as soon as you like put it in that orientation. It was like, whoa! So that one's going to take a while though to stitch up. But that's where I'm going with the Appletons. So that those of you who want like a wool style cushion cover, you got it. I got you. So now what else is new? Well, the Byzantine Quiet Book is completed. So you guys have been following along, and here's the Byzantine Quiet Book. And we'll go through this little page by page. So this is the one that I made for my granddaughter. I am getting ready to photograph it and will release this as a kit. And the kit will include all the fabric you need and the floss, but it will not include the face fabric. And I did that intentionally because I think if you decide to make this up, you should use when I say face fabric, that's like a professional tailoring term. And it basically means the fabric that you see, the face fabric. Your outside cover fabric should be something that you really, really love and that has meaning for you. It could be like a favorite garment that you cut down that's like worn out or something like that. This is a little piece of Liberty of London that I've had for years, and I just love it. And it's actually what my embroidery work bag is made out of. So I just thought that would be really neat for her. So we have the beautiful peacock first, and then we have the dogs and the horse. Each one has a little border on it at the bottom to kind of ground it. Then we have the birds and the toucan. I love the toucan. He's very saucy. He's very cute. And then we have the deer, the mama deer and the baby deer, which I just love. And then the duck family. Oh my gosh, the ducks. Just love the ducks with their little fountain of water. And then of course we have little cross motifs here to sort of symbolize more water. And then the final page is the butterflies. Oh, and did I actually forget to stitch? Oh no, I filled in. There was a couple of stitches missing that I had forgotten to fill in, but I remembered. And so what this is it's basically made just like a needle book, but it's something that she can take with her when she's got to like be sitting someplace quiet that she can look at. And, you know, it's very textural. And this pattern, I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to release it soon. This pattern will have instructions, complete instructions for the quiet book, but I will also include extra little borders for the chart so that you could take all the animals and make it as a wall hanging. 2 animals across, 4 animals deep. And I thought that would be neat too, because like maybe you want to make it as a little wall hanging for someone who either loves animals or a favorite child in your life or something like that. Plus, the designs are really great to use for all sorts of small projects because any one of them could be used separately. So that's coming up really soon. I just need to get around to like photographing it and getting all the like design work finished. Probably we'll get to that after H&H. I I think actually I took some photos of it, but I really need to, I want to make sure that the photo of this, you know what I probably need to do for this, now that I'm thinking about this, now that we're here chatting, I need to do a video for this one of just basically one of those short, like, you know, videos you see on like Amazon and things like that, where, you know, like the woo music plays in the background and then somebody's just like opening it and, you know, showing each page. That's what I'll do. So look for that. Now I have a lot in process because I finally figured out a way to have my design, to create a design wall for myself in the workshop. This has been a huge struggle of mine because my studio is in a basement that is, most of the walls are covered with shelving like this. I don't have any blank wall space and to put up a bulletin board or to have a space where I have all my designs. And I'm very much a visual thinker. And I needed a space to get, and I had them in my computer, but it's not quite the same thing to see them as teeny tiny little pictures. I needed like a wall that I could like do. So here's what I did. My quick and dirty fix that I was so proud of myself. I got inexpensive room dividers on Amazon. So they make these room dividers. They're like $60 for a 3-pack and they're 6 feet tall and they're on these little stands. And so basically I should have brought one. Actually, hang on. No, I don't think I can do that. Anyways, but I basically have these room dividers and they come with like fabric in them because that's the divider part. Because room dividers, I guess, are quite a huge thing with everybody working from home. I've always worked from home, so like that hadn't occurred to me. Oh yeah, if people aren't set up for this, they need room dividers. So I went looking, tons and tons. I mean, it is a room divider paradise, people, right now. And so I got them. So what I'm able to do now is I have 2 of them set up and I have all my designs laid out so I can like look at them. Wow, right? It's been huge. And I have them positioned so like every time I'm going up and down the stairs in the workshop, I can like kind of glance at them. And that is so helpful for me because I really work best if I can do some really intense design work and then I just put stuff up on the wall and I think about it. And like, for example, I had one of the designs that was up there and it was in like a table runner format. And it's one of these things that's been on my design, kind of my virtual design wall for literally over a year. I'm like, it's just not working. I put it up there. I ran upstairs. I happened to I watered a plant, put it down. I was like, oh, I need a little square for right here. I was like, oh, Milena border. That's the one that I need to do. Change the orientation. And like now it is already being sample stitched. At least I'm sample stitching it. I'm going to be a little slow on this one, but it's this design. It's really cool. It's from an old book on Serbian embroidery. And this is a really soft, this is the 927. And what it'll be is every single thing in here is outlined. So the design is going to look super intricate. This is like a 13 by 13. Well, this piece of fabric is like maybe 14 by 14. And it has like over 9,000 stitches and like 10,000 back stitches. So it's just going to be like really, really lavish. And I'm really excited about that one. But again, without the design wall, I wouldn't have been able to see that and like see, oh wait, that's how it needs to happen. So the design wall is changing my life. Okay, so I'm going to show you that one up a little close too. Isn't that just the coolest? I love this little design. It's a little bit like my Byzantine meander design, which is one of my very first designs, but it's a little bit more compact and a little bit more floral. And you know me, if it involves outlining, yes, please. So this one, I'm stitching it on 30 count linen. So that'll be cool. That's coming up. Let's see what else is coming up. Oh, so you've probably seen this on Instagram, but this is actually, if I can just stop for a moment and say, this is really strange for me to have multiple projects going in process. So here, true confession. I start one project and I take it all the way to completion before I start another one. And I watch people on social media talk all about their works in progress. I actually had to Google what WIP meant because I had no idea. Because I don't have works in progress. I have a work in progress because I'm so obsessed with like the one design I'm working on at that point in time. But here I am, and I actually have 3 designs going at the present moment. But partly because this one is on 32 count linen, which is amazing and gorgeous, and it's going to be this beautiful, great big square. But people, it's 32 count linen, and I have 52-year-old eyes. And even with my best glasses, it's like, whoo, This one I really can't work at for more than a couple of hours just because it's a lot of really close-up work and I don't want to mess it up because it's going to be a big square. So yeah, just to show you that. That motif is going to be in every corner. This is an adaptation of a vintage one that I just recently acquired from Greece, which I'm pretty excited about. So that's that one. I'll show it to you again. And I just love the design. And oh, wait for it. Look, there's more outlining, more back stitches. It's like a really cool stylized, I'm calling this one Thracian Rose because when you turn it this way, it does kind of look like a rose. You can kind of see that rose idea. And then I feel like these look like little rosebuds here along the edge. Very cool design. This is a really good example of using this is a very restrained design in that it's just this simple border with a really gorgeous motif in each corner. This one, surprisingly, is like 8,000 stitches. It's not that many stitches. It's a lot of back stitches, but even that, it's not that much stitching, but a lot of impact. Very graceful, very delicate looking. This is going on my coffee table. Very excited about that. So that's that one. Then the other one I wanted to show you that I'm really excited about. So I regularly am adding to my own collection of vintage embroideries. So mostly Greek, but every once in a while I'll find something on, say, Etsy or eBay or something like that, and it'll be Ukrainian or Romanian, and I'm starting, or Bulgarian. I added a Bulgarian piece to my collection a couple of months ago, but this one really caught my eye. So I found this one on Etsy, and it was made in the 1970s in Ukraine, and it is a traditional. What this is a traditional icon scarf. So in a Ukrainian home, this hangs over like the family's icon here, their patron saint, or in a saint that's important to them in their icon, and then this hangs on either side as decoration. It's on this special fabric that I think is custom woven or was custom woven specifically for these because there's a fully finished woven edge, which is really cool. So no finishing is needed on this. Boy, I'd love to find fabric like this. Anyways, but I saw it and the design, I mean, it's a lot of orange, okay? Very 70s, very orange, and really not a colorway that a lot of us are really gonna be drawn to. But as soon as I saw the design, I was like, oh, that design is just so fabulous. You've got these scrolls, you've got the diamonds, you've got the crosses. Oh my word, so much to love here. So I have adapted it as a design. One of my sample stitchers is working on it right now, and I've adapted it into a more sort of palatable color palette. That's kind of a weird phrase, but there you go. So this one is actually going to be done in a very sort of traditional Ukrainian color palette with like the 347 red and black and the 469 avocado green, and then using, instead of the really light bright orange, I just don't even know if the video can do justice. This orange is so glowy, it really almost hurts to look at it. It's very neon. And what I've done is in the design, I've softened that to the 351 coral. So you still get that really lovely, lush, vibrant color that is associated with Ukrainian embroidery, but in a color palette that's a little bit easier on the eyes, shall we say. And I even think you could do this in an even more muted color palette that could be really cool. It'd be very modern, but like I feel like you could change out some of those, like the 347, you could change out to like an alizarin color, like this kind of like pale pinkish coral peachy color. And then maybe change some of the other stuff out to the yellows to like a warm gold. There's lots of ways you could do this. So I think this is going to be a really great pattern. And I'm setting it up as a cushion cover, but you'll have it and you could make the icon scarf like this with it at either end, but you could also make it as a table runner with the design going like down the middle of the table runner. But this one we're going to do as a cushion cover for the sample, like Corinthian bridal shawl, where it's a great big border that takes up most of the middle of the cushion cover. And we are doing it on the Milena 26 count ivory because I think it's going to really pop with all the outlining. There's not a ton of outlining, but there's some. Let me see if I can show that to you. The little scrolls are outlined. Can you see that? Okay, yeah, the little scrolls are outlined, which is cool. Okay, so that one's in the works. Probably won't happen till fall. It's kind of a big design, but I think my sample stitcher friend should have it done by fall, so we'll be able to release that. Then, what else have I got going on? Oh, I just started this one like yesterday, and I'm absolutely loving it. The design was brought to my attention by Deborah, and Deborah also has wind stitch, and she had sent me a wind stitch file that she had done of this cushion cover from Nisros, and I liked it, but I wanted to go see the original, and it's from Roderick Taylor's Embroideries of the Greek Island book, which is a great book. And I went back to the original, and I just felt like I wanted to keep it a little closer to the original. And so I went ahead and plus it was just such a cool design. I'm like, oh, I want to draft that too. And so I drafted it up and came up with, it was just such a fun design to draft because, oh, I don't have the full-size design to show you. I should have grabbed that. But basically it's a cushion cover, and the way it works is basically these diamonds here, when you see them all together, it makes it look like a diamond in a square. It's really cool. It's got this totally lovely geometry. And so I'm working that up, and I'm working that up on the Mikini 26 count Berry traditional palette. And I haven't even started the fill stitches, but this whole arrow section here will be filled in. This will all be filled in. I was just sort of getting my bearings, so to speak, last night as I was starting. And so these will all be filled in, which will really make the design pop. It'll be a really lavish design. And I think that this will be cushion cover number 3 for my living room. I've only been trying for over a year to make 3 cushion covers for my living room because I really want to I have cream colored couches in my living room, and I really want them just filled with like folk embroidery cushion covers. It's just my own personal dream. But I keep having to stop the projects that I'm on because I'm like finishing up something. But the Santorini Stars has definitely made the cut and is going into the living room. And then this one's definitely going in there. And then with Corinthian Bridal Shawl. And then who knows, maybe I'll make more because I have some more cushion designs coming up that I think I might use. So that's kind of what's going on at Avlea. It's like I say, oh, the other thing I'm doing, one last thing that I'm going to do this summer is I'm going to do, I've been invited to do a stitch out. I just made that up. It's basically me sitting in a lawn chair stitching, but we're going to give it a fancy name and call it a stitch out. And I'm going to do a stitch out at the August 6th Gaiety Hollow Lord and Shriver Conservancy Open Garden Tour. Wow, that's a mouthful. So I live in Salem, Oregon, and here in Salem, there is an organization called the Lord and Shriver Garden Conservancy. And one of the I think it's the very first all-female landscape design companies was founded. Like one of the first ones in America was here in Salem, Oregon. And it was Edith Lord, and I can't remember the other one, Shriver. And they actually lived in a house very close to my house. And the Conservancy now owns the house and their planned garden. And they planned a number of gardens all around the Salem area in historic neighborhoods. And in fact, I went on the Fairmont Garden Tour this past weekend. So much fun. We got to go into like 12 different gardens through the Fairmont neighborhood. 5 of them were original Lord and Shriver designs. And they just do these amazing things with garden design. They loved to create rooms. And so they would have like these small brick planters and lots of boxwood to create almost like these false walls and rooms, outdoor rooms. Oh, really, really incredible. And only after going through the garden tour did I put together, we have brick beds that are in our patio. You'll see them in some of my photos when I'm like stitching outside. We know from the documents we have from the original owners of our home, that the original owners of our home lived here for 41 years. And I have 7 pages of handwritten documents from them of everything that was done on the house. From 1922, when the land was bought, to 1961, when they had to move out and sell the house. So it's a pretty amazing historical record to have for a house. And in the late 40s, the second wife of the doctor had these brick beds put in the backyard. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, those need boxwoods. So we planted 50 dwarf boxwoods to start creating these little like false walls in our garden. And as soon as I got to see all these Lord and Shriver gardens, I'm like, oh, she was totally like doing a knockoff of like the Lord and Shriver garden designs that were going on in the neighborhood. Back in the 1940s, I think they were all the fashion among the Salem socialite club. So I think I have a little piece of that history in my backyard, which is kind of exciting. So anyways, so Lord and Shriver is like a local organization that is all about gardens, and they are doing collaborations over the summer with local artists, which is really cool. And so they've invited me to come and do one of my little stitch outs where I'll be sitting and stitching and talking about embroidery and folk embroidery and all the things with people. And that will be on August 6th. The other thing too, if you're in the Salem area, on June 27th, I will be in a local display of local artists. It's at the Salem Convention Center. A few months ago, a local photographer came and did a very fun photo shoot in the workshop with me. And I'll be in that gallery display, which is kind of fun. So I'm kind of curious to go and see it myself. I think it's actually debuting at the Salem Library maybe this week, and then it moves to the Convention Center in a couple of weeks. So anyways, and I think that's it. I will be back to talk to you in July. I can't wait to share with you like how H&H went. Let's hope I don't bomb. But it's always like my great big huge fear and anxiety is like, what if I go and nobody likes folk embroidery? Then I sort of have a little wake-up call for myself and go, excuse me, like, everybody likes folk embroidery. Folk embroidery is awesome. So let's hope for that. And I think that's it. I hope all of you are really moving into that summer mode, gonna get some lovely like summer stitching, being outdoors, sunshine, working in your garden, all the good things. And thank you for joining me. And I will talk to you in July. Happy stitching, everybody.